What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kappa's Pond, where I am just going to be doing a little bit of gaming and doing a little chatting. I thought today we would actually show you one of my favorite games of all time. I saying that though, okay, I think we're okay. Yeah, we're good just to go in. Yeah, even though that being said, I have not actually sat down and played this game in a little while, but I thought it'd be an interesting view. Talk about it a little bit and see where we go with it. So this is Phantasy Star Online, a game made by Sega, originally on the Sega Dreamcast. Sorry, getting used to the controls again, real quick. Yeah, originally debuted on the Sega Dreamcast. Uh, Unfortunately, it did not. Let's get this camera back a little bit. Uh, Unfortunately, I know it had a following, but I would never say like I don't know. At least my circles, most people have never heard of this. In fact, these days, like most people haven't heard of it unless I'm the one telling them about it. But I know it had a big following online, and in Japan, I'm pretty sure it's huge. And it did do good enough to eventually get ported to the GameCube, which is the last time we've ever seen this game until here in the West, like legally or officially. This is being played on a fan server because this is a now long dead game. Uh, I'm conflicted in wanting to say where you can go get this if you like the way it looks, because I also don't necessarily always want to spread the word of a fan game, fan servers and whatnot, because I just don't know the legality. A simple Google search should lead you to it. I'll put it like that. But as you can see, it's an action RPG. It is kind of a loot. It is a loot fest. It's very Diablo in that aspect of just. Although it has far less like map variety than like say modern Diablo, it has this, but it's all real time based combat. Like you can't just mash the button. Like if you see if you can pick it up. If I'm just gonna mash the attack button, if you can hear I'm clicking and all I'm doing is that. But if you watch the animations, see this rappy here is playing dead. So we'll get it to trigger by walking away. Trying to get it to. Yep, there we go. There it goes. It played dead, then you have to hit him again to get him to drop it out. But anyway, as opposed to just mashing the button back and forth, it's not a button masher. You have to watch the timing of the animation. Sword rise, hit it again, for a 3-hit combo. And every single weapon, no matter if it's ranged. Let's see what else I have. Yeah, like even the gun. If I just keep mashing, you don't get one shot. But if you time it, you get 3 attacks. As well as if you see on the bottom right, I got your hotkeys are down there, and I got it set to where the bottom one is light attack, basic attack, or heavy attack on the blue, and a heal spell on the right. And yeah, while you see it's only got 3 with a chat feature up top, hitting a button will switch it over to my spells. And in this game, you have a lot of class combinations between race. You have a human, elf, and robots called castes. And they can each be a hunter, which is kind of your all-around melee plus ranged fighting. And if you pick elf or human, you can use magic. Castes can't use magic, but they have discs that are. In this case, it's just really bombs. But like in the well, I guess all magic's from this. I'm getting it mixed up. Excuse me. But they can only use bombs and as well use discs for tech, which are spells for human and elf. And then there's force, which are your casters. You have rangers, which are your ranged, basically. Yeah. While they can't use melee weapons, they excel in guns. And we might, if I can convince Jerry to jump back in with me, because he was definitely the person I played the most with. As well as my buddy John. We might get some multiplayer going. You can have up to 4 players running with you in a game. which ups the difficulty. And yeah, and with this version, which you also see, I can line up hotkeys on the bottom too while we were talking about hotkeys earlier. But yeah, it was basically just run through looking for better equipment, better gear. Other little thing with these rappies is let's see if I get better luck shooting or with magic. You can shoot them from a distance. Ah, come on, there we go. You ain't got to wait around for them to play dead. If you can nail them from far away, you can just 2 shots and get their drop. Yeah, like this is while I played other games on Dreamcast, this was why I had it for so long. I'm fairly certain up until they shut down the servers, and once the GameCube came out that had all the online features offline, it was done. I've been playing that almost nonstop. Every now and again, it's just one of those games you go back to anytime you want. And this little mosquito hive drops a lot, drops little bugs, try to get irritating. As you see, I'm level 75 with this character. I'm playing on, you have 4 modes of difficulty, normal, hard, and very hard. I'm currently on very hard because I have to be level 80 to get to ultimate, where the creatures are ridiculously tough, as well as they look different. They actually are different creatures, even if you're running the same maps. You get a nice little change that way. And on top of that, throughout the existence of this game, there's been multiple episodes, as they call them. I'm playing through episode 1, which was the base game. Of course, there's been little updates to the weapons and the looks and whatnot that you can have. But there's also episode 2, which is a whole new game, whole new map, story, everything. As well as episode 4, which is also another, just a whole new adventure with a lot of different map styles, enemy styles, weapons to drop, and everything. And there is an episode 3, but we don't talk about episode 3. That's they wanted to do a card game. Now, I do have it on GameCube because, again, I love Phantasy Star. And yes, actually, I'm thinking about it. I almost forgot. So I have to get back to it. If y'all who have watched my channel for long might remember a short-lived, because there were just so many issues at the time, I'm hoping I can fix that, of recording Phantasy Star 4 on the Sega Genesis. Well, Sega Genesis Collection on Steam I was playing it on, but yeah, this is a continuation from the Phantasy Star series that started on Sega Genesis. That was their sci-fi turn-based RPG, and it's evolved to this. Get out of there. And while I think this is the peak of the action RPG version, because they released what they call Phantasy Star Portable on PSP, on the PlayStation Portable, as well as there was Phantasy Star Universe, and there is currently Phantasy Star Online 2 on Steam, which me and Jerry and maybe our boy John too played. We tried it for a little while. It is a lot more just kind of button mashy arcade, no direct a lot more arcadey feel. And while this may feel a bit dated because it's slower paced, I don't know. It's just the way I like it. Hard to kind of explain why. Like, I don't want these modern, like we played it for a good amount of time. This part 2, but yeah, it didn't stick with it, and I still find myself coming back to this. Kind of like if y'all watched my last upload, the first upload in a long time, with Diablo. Comfort games. This is it. This is one I can, whether I start over or just pick it right back up like I'm doing now. Yeah, I can play this game endlessly. Even if I take long breaks, I'll jump right back into it because it's a grind game. It's just about grinding your levels and grinding, different weapons. And speaking of weapons, so I showed you the Yamato, these double swords. Let me go back to town real quick. You got a quick menu for all, because you have a ton of spells way beyond your hotkey bar. And even though I have it all, it's down at the bottom. I'm just so used to playing on the controller. I don't necessarily use the hotkeys very much outside of how I've been playing it for years. Let's do it. Make it easier. You can go to your item, sort that shit. All right. Get rid of all the garbage because none of this will be better. And when I have it, you can see on the right, it'll say if anything's an upgrade, because there is no buyback feature. So make sure if you're selling something, you don't want it, because once you sell, it's gone. And I figured I'll go grab some different weapons to kind of show you the variety that's in this. Because there's different, kind of like different weapons are what kind of will create your different play styles. Let's see. What we got? Yeah, show a little bit of one of everything here. These are the different styles. Yeah, okay. That's everything I have on this character. Yeah, just kind of show you those real quick. And it's going to take up my inventory space, which you have limited space you can carry. See, I'm currently at 21 to 30, even though I just sold all my garbage. But I wanted to show you the weapon. So you see, you got the double-bladed Yamato style sword, so you can have that. Going down to kind of your standard, the DB saber. That's your basic kind of like lightsaber kind of attacks. We have the Yamato. Oh no, back to the Yamato, damn it. Bloody Art. Daggers. Which you can see they'll do multiple hits. Like, kind of like any other thing. And just, you got weapons that hit more, do less damage, but you get more hits. So it's just kind of a matter of, your play style. Got the Bryonics. The polearm weapon. Big swings, big damage. Faster than the great sword. Which actually, I don't think about it. I don't think I actually have a great sword in here. But you do get big, Cloud if you know Final Fantasy, Guts if you read the best manga ever made, Berserk, the big Buster sword. And gun-wise, you saw earlier the handgun, but you can also have the multi-hit machine gun. Then we get into some of the goofier stuff. You can actually get parts off of monsters. If you remember those little bear-like creatures, you can actually do quests to get a guy that'll turn them into animal parts into weaponry. Always fun. And then sometimes you just have to have a giant paper fan. Get some silly weapons as well as some very cool weapons. Let's see here. Let's go put all this stuff back. So I have inventory space. Then I'm going to talk about what those fucking things are that are floating on my back. That is another big part of the game. So put all this back. Get back down there. I'm going to talk to you about your best friend, your partner in the world, your mag. Mags are little robots that float behind you, that you feed. This one is currently maxed out, so I usually just give it the generic star atomizer. But what they do is they increase your stats, as you can see, as you feed them items from level 1 to level 200. They'll boost your stats, being that I'm a melee class. I wanted high power with some decent mind because I do cast the spells as well. But it also gives you more or less limit breaks. The bar on the top left, you'll see that's currently at 0. As I take damage, will fill up. And once it does, so I have 3 different summons I can do that are, will replace my hot bar at the bottom. And I can, cast them in my case, I picked all, based on what your mag evolves into, you will get the different ones. Because you can feed them different things, and depend on what stats are higher in combination, as well as get into the final evolution, your class, your badge color, which is determined by your name, will all affect what you get. And there's a ton of online stuff that'll tell you how to get the ones you want. I wasn't super worried about trying to get any super rare ones, but it was, I wanted to at least make sure I got the summons I wanted to. Yeah, these are the Go Boomas. Those are the Boomas. The arm I showed you I had earlier was from them. And you can get all the different upgrades from, these are the stronger versions, and you can get their arm if the RNG gods bless you with a rare drop. I'm kind of hoping to show you all a rare drop, but it is completely random, so we'll see. We'll see if it happens. But yeah, that's a lot of this game is just that. It's running, exploring, trying to get to a boss. You have 4 stages that do have not randomly generated maps. There's only a certain number, but it is randomly determined layouts, and a little more so in the the later levels, you'll get a lot more variety. This first level is generally the same layout every time, but you may have different starting points and objectives will move around. But in the later levels, yeah, like you can get a lot of different, a lot more variety in the later ones. So yeah, that's basically it. As well as you can, you customize your character. Of course, I gotta get the green hair and found a way to get Kappa with the. You see the yellow symbol on my chest is yellow boss, which has the effect of the whole game where it gives more money drops. That's why you see basically money come from these chests a lot more than items. But and I could be wrong. This is what I always remember it being the case was with yellow bars because it's only guaranteeing money as opposed to other ones that might always guarantee swords or pole arms or machine guns. This kind of gives everything a chance to drop equally, which I think is the best way around. Plus, you always need money in RPGs. Anyone who plays these knows that. So yeah, but this is Phantasy Star Online, and again, this is like basically it is a fan server, and it's a fan server of the latest version or the last version of it, I believe, called Blue Burst that came out only in Japan, maybe in Europe, definitely not here in the States. Unless I'm 100% wrong, and if it did, it came out at a time I was not playing on computer. So, very happy to find this. And again, as I said, fan technically, this isn't on above board. This is fans keeping a dead game alive, which for video game preservation, that's great. Although I will say, as much as this is free to play. If you just all you gotta do is install it. Uh, but like if say out of the blue they announce this is coming to modern consoles, I would drop this version and I would buy and support the official one in a heartbeat. Excuse me. Get a little bit of water. But yeah, because much if I have the legal option to go out and buy a game, I will do that every time. And I'm not hating on emulation. If you do that, cool. I'm in none of my business. But I do say if I have much like we've talked about on our podcasts and chatting with my friends on the different videos, I'm sure y'all have heard is like, yeah, like streaming services, anime especially, like and manga. Like sometimes you unfortunately got to go the seedier route, the nefarious means. Well, I tend to say. Because yeah, it's not always available, or man, sometimes like subscriptions and stuff, just having to, they don't have everything, so you kind of got to go that route. So I'm not hating, I'm not judging anybody for how you want to play. But yeah, I would say though, if you have the legal options to go and enjoy a product, do it that way. If not, do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna judge you on that. Oh yeah, that's better. We should be getting very close to the end of this dungeon here. I can at least show you the first boss of it. But yeah, and speaking of Let's Plays, like I am still tossing that idea around right now. We got had some conventions here these last few months while I've been thinking about bringing back the channel. So for now, these are kind of one-offs. Of course, if you want to see more, just absolutely hit me up on the socials or just drop a comment at the bottom of this video if you want to see more of this game or more Diablo, or do I need to get back to doing whole Let's Plays of games? Like I know I started with Final Fantasy 1 and was talking about running the whole series in order. And there's still part of me that's like, that's the way to go. Stupid camera, which you can only pop the camera behind your shoulder. There's no actual camera adjusting, like swing around like modern games. But yeah, I don't. It's just, man, Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3 it can be such a slog to go through. So if the Final Fantasy series is coming back, I may skip those, go straight to a Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6. Definitely 6. It's my favorite. 6 is my favorite game of all time. Like that, even if none of y'all watch it, there's a part of me that just really feels I have to do a Let's Play of me enjoying and just loving all over Part 6. So, one way or another, that will happen on the channel. My inventory is full. Let's go back and sell real quick. I do promise at least that. If you're holding out or hoping for it, that will come eventually. Once I have a little more lull, this guy will identify unknown weapons, which I'll have random like ice pillars. Like, so it has a chance to, on a special attack to freeze an enemy. And these are force weapons. I can't use them. They're purely for the magic users. So they are just money. Sell everything off because none of the weapons are upgrades. Yeah, none of the armor they ain't good. And once you hit the high level, it's pretty much guaranteed you're not gonna need almost anything that drops until it's a rare drop. But yeah, this is like I said, out of like most RPGs, I tend to like to stay in the medieval fantasy setting, but Phantasy Star is that exception. I do enjoy the sci-fi aesthetic that still has a little bit of that feel of of the medieval fantasy. They've always done a much while like say like Final Fantasy, at least in the older games, were medieval fantasy with hints of sci-fi in there. It's steampunk. They've always kind of been on the edge of it. This is vice versa. It's very sci-fi with the hint of medieval. Yeah, that big motherfucker just dropped on me. Fuck you, Hilda. But yeah, that has the feel of a feel of medieval RPG in it too. So it's a fun balance for it. Like I would love like a Star Wars game that plays like this, which granted I know like modern players probably won't get into this kind of slower beat way of playing, but I don't know. I would love it. I would love it if I mean, they could just reskin it for all I care and just call it like Star Wars. I would be super fucking happy. All right, some hotkeys are set to parts of the controller. Unfortunately, the menu is on one of my analog sticks, so that keeps popping up. I do apologize for my unprofessionalism. But yeah, that's a lot of what this game is about. And again, you got 4 levels with different enemy types in each of them that you fight through, and of course, playing the end dungeon will give you different drops from the others. Actually, I think all of them, because you have weapons that will drop that are unique to each enemy. So, really running all 4 dungeons is the way to go, and it's just how you grind through. And your characters do transfer between the episodes. So, like, if I just feel like playing episode 2 or episode 4 instead of 1, I can still take this character Kappa into that. And so it's a lot of variety, for a game that's as old as it is, which I believe it's 2001. I could be wrong. I have to check could Google that later. But yeah, it's held up to me. It's just one of my absolute favorites. So I'm glad to always tell everyone about it. And yeah, like I said, I would definitely say just look up if this interests you, a Google search of Phantasy Star Online fan servers, and like it came up. This one that I'm playing on, it came up first. I did some research to make sure about safety for hacking, bank account, everything. Because even the official game had issues with hackers and stuff. I would still say, just in case, don't play with strangers, because you can find lobbies that people have open games you can jump in, just in case. Play by yourself, play with some friends, because you basically you create a lobby with a name and password, and just hit your boys up, or girls, or whatever. Hit your friends up, give them the password, tell them to jump in, they can find your room, and play with that just to be safe. But I mean, so far, knock on wood, I've been playing this fan server for a while, and no bank account issues. Fortunately. This is the last room. We are about to go fight the first big boss. Then we'll probably call it an episode. Just thought about didn't really have like any big subjects I wanted to discuss. Not with just me. Some things might pop off if I get some friends on here, talk about some recent events if they wish. But yeah, this I just wanted to show this run real quick. Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and sell because there will be loot at the end of this boss fight. And maybe I'll get lucky and the boss will drop its rare weapon, which of course has even lower percentile chances of happening. Alright, get these identified. Berdice, railgun. Again, at this point I've gotten so much rare stuff in. And like early on, yeah, before you start getting rare drops all the time, you know, finding these kind of weapons would be amazing. I'm showing you kind of end game high end stuff, so it's not ain't quite the hype of getting them as it would be in your early runnings. Alright, let's go ahead. Yeah. We'll feed the mag. Keep them fed. They will give you stuff like could give me a boost in attack and defense at the beginning of this fight. Certain versions will make you invincible, but having them healthy or fed, even if they're already maxed out and you don't get any stat benefits, it still is good. See, they're bouncing, so they're about to give me a boost. But it's still keeping them fed will make them do their little automated things like that. Yep, it gave me an attack and defense boost. Yeah, we got the big dragon. Is always the first boss here. You want to bring him down, attack that head. You can only damage him so far before he enters phase 2. You see his life there on the left isn't going down. But I said I am 5 levels from hitting the new difficulty, so yeah, I'm obviously just running through this. He wants to fly. I'm gonna keep blasting. See if I can drop him before he does his thing. Nope, going for the burrow. See, he dove into there. You just gotta run. You see, he's burrowing through the lava. We'll try to pop up and attack. There you go. I'll take the hit. Damn, he still hits pretty hard, even though I'm pretty much over leveled on him. Yeah. He can one-shot you if you're of level, so it's good to just, how I was kind of doing, you saw just running around the edge and hope to avoid him. Oh, shit. Other buttons. Hitting the wrong damn button. Such amateur. And there he goes. During death animation is all real time, so you can see you can still run around. And he dropped defense material. Yeah, that's always good. These are permanent buffs to whatever material is defense. You have attack, magic, and stuff, so you get out like that. But yeah, that was the first boss, and then find all these chests to go collect afterwards. Even though probably nothing rare, but I kind of want to run through real quick. Then I'll take you down to the other dungeon just to show you each one. Not going to go much further on it. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Then we will call this a video. I guess I didn't know if I was going to really talk about much else, but yeah, just showing off one of my favorite games. So you start with the forest, which is what I just ran you guide people through. You have the cave, which is underground, and as you go deeper, you learn more of the story. And see, instead of the boomas, we got these sharks, land sharks. So scary. And while the forest has 2 zones, the cave has 3, the mine has 2, and the ruins have 3. So it also alternates things. You got the mines, which is all robots. I do like using guns more in this one because the enemies do fly back. Kind of a good crowd control. just little things like that. A little robot that's floating. Don't know what the fuck he's doing, but living his best life. And then you have the final zone, the ruins, which looks kind of like, I don't know, to me it's very aliens, some Giger inspiration with these. These are best handled with magic or a big sweeping pole arm or the giant sword, or just simply magic blast them. But I say if you're wanting to play the robot race or yeah, you don't have options for magic, so better to have a good sweeping weapon. Even the Rangers have a shotgun that'll hit multiple enemies. But yeah, that is it. That is a look at least Phantasy Star Online for me just kind of explaining the game because, I don't know, maybe down the line we'll be able to get some friends on. I got a few friends that also installed this game. Can run with, do some multiplayer, BS around, have a good time, chat it up. But yeah, that's going to do it for now. Thank you again for all the support and love of me uploading again. I appreciate every one of y'all. Yeah, we'll catch you next time.